Being betrayed is something that a lot of us have had to deal with in one way or the other. Being betrayed is really the experience of having a breach of trust, a breach of confidentiality, a breach of privacy in a way that kind of disrupts your entire world. It disrupts your ability to trust other people. It disrupts your ability to go on and have other healthy relationships. And if you have dealt with betrayal trauma within your family, that's an ongoing trauma that can continue for many years. Betrayal trauma really does impact your well-being, and it jeopardizes your ability to trust again and again and again. The significance, according to research, of the relationship often is equal to the impact of the trauma. So let's say, for example, your mom, your mother, who you have trusted for many years, has decided to release some information to the family on you that you asked her in confidence to keep. Her excuse to you is, it just came out. 1 minute I'm talking and the next minute this comes out of my mouth, right? You feel not only hurt, but betrayed. You feel minimized. You feel judged by other family members who have that information about you. And you feel like you have absolutely no control whatsoever on who knows the information now and how they're seeing it. And so this can feel like a very big wound, depending on what that secret is, right? Or depending on what that information is that you told your mom. That breach of trust can feel even more impactful and intense because it has happened at the hands of your mom. Maybe if it happened at the hands of a stranger, or maybe a friend that you no longer talk to, you would be able to deal with it a little easier. But because of the significance of the relationship, that impact is major. Let me also say that betrayal trauma can also cause within you what's called a paradoxical reaction. Instead of reacting to your mother in rage and in anger and really, putting up a firm boundary and really telling your mother not to let this happen again, you kind of move on and you go on with the attitude that behind your mom's back, you are so angry. But in the midst of your mom, you act like it doesn't bother you. You might even seem like you have forgiven this inappropriate behavior or inappropriate release of your information. It's almost like you've forgiven it. What happens in a paradoxical reaction is, in order for you to continue to survive, because let's say your mom is paying your mortgage or your rent, she's paying your cell phone bill, she's, paying your utilities, and, she also spends so many thousands to help you get through college, right? So let's say that's the dynamic here. Mom is kind of helping you with your survival. And so in order for you to continue to trust her, to rely on her, and to get the benefits that you once had from your mom, you kind of push down your thoughts and feelings about the betrayal, and it becomes a very skewed way that you see the relationship. There may even be people all around you saying, why would you forgive her for that? How could you forgive her for that? You need to put up boundaries with your mom. You need to stand up for yourself. Don't ever let that happen to you again. You may hear all those messages from the outside in, but the paradoxical reaction on your part is that I am not going to respond in a way that most people would expect, because I can't. I'm so traumatized. I'm so shocked. I'm so destabilized by this that I'm going to just be okay with this. And especially because I have to rely on her. So if you feel that you have dealt with betrayal trauma yourself, you want to keep watching. Common challenges of betrayal trauma includes a loss of childhood, a loss of dignity, and a loss of safety, right? When somebody that you trust is close to you, or you're in an organization that is supposed to be on your side and respectful of your confidentiality. The minute that is broken and torn apart, you can feel like there's a loss of dignity and there's a loss of safety on your part. Why would you want to forgive them, right? Why would you want to trust them ever again? Most likely you're not. Your defenses are going to go up high, and you most likely will have a really hard time trusting anybody else down the line. Now, if you are a child, for example, and you experienced betrayal trauma, you were sexually abused, you were financially abused, you were psychologically abused, you were physically abused. Let's say that this was you in your adolescence. Information may get out about your experience, or you may feel betrayed by this person who, let's say, for example, is your father. You become an adult and you look back over that painful history, and you may feel like you've lost not only memories of your childhood, but experiences. You may find that there's a development of alliances and coalitions all around you. Dad may have sexually violated you and psychologically abused you. You told your brother, but for some reason he doesn't believe you. So what does he do? He gets into this alliance and coalition with your father, and they become so close, maybe even enmeshed and codependent, that you can't even believe that both of them are going against you. There's also loss of memories and amnesia. Sometimes betrayal trauma includes a lot of neurological processes that can be impacted by old relationships, new relationships, continual trauma. And so you may forget very significant pieces of your childhood. You may also have lost even the positive memories of your childhood. There's also a possibility of a fear of abandonment, right? If I've been betrayed by this person and that person and that person, what's there to say that I'm not going to continue to be betrayed even into my adulthood? You may also have a very high defense system or defense mechanism. I'm going to keep my barriers up this high so that I'm never going to be hurt again, so that I'm never going to be betrayed again. These are all very common responses to betrayal trauma, and that paradoxical reaction is likely to happen in this as well. You may find that, a maintenance of the relationship with the betrayer is important for your survival. And so if that relationship is still needed because you need them financially, you're not ready to walk away, or you're afraid of walking away, or you feel like you need to be involved with this person so your children can have a father, or your children can have a mother, whatever the scenario, you may believe that maintenance of the relationship with the betrayer is important. And that's when you're likely to start seeing a lot of paradoxical reaction, and maybe even a loss of control in your own mind and in your heart. Jennifer Freed, between 1994 and 1996, came up with the term betrayal trauma. And she says the two conditions need to be met in order for you to have experienced betrayal trauma, which is, number one, there has to be a significant relationship of some kind. Going to a Catholic school for all of your life, having a relationship with your parents or sibling or adopted family, being in a institution that you believe has totally disregarded your confidentiality, but was really supposed to maintain it, like a hospital, a mental health institution. The second condition is that there has to be some kind of betrayal, and that could be a breach of trust, a breach of confidentiality, a breach of privacy. There has to be some kind of breach, right? And once those two things happen, it's possible that you could be experiencing betrayal trauma, which can result in symptoms of PTSD. It can also result in symptoms of complex PTSD, depression, anxiety, right? The brain and the body can go through a variety of changes and experiences just by dealing with the impact of that betrayal. Now, betrayal trauma can also happen if you are in an institution like a school, a church, a mental health facility. Betrayal trauma can also impact you differently if it's a parental relationship. It can impact you if it's an interpersonal relationship of some kind, like a friendship or somebody at work that you befriended and you trusted, but they betrayed you in some fashion. And betrayal trauma also happens in intimate partner relationships. So what happens to you when you are part of a dynamic where you feel that you have been completely betrayed? Well, you know, there's something known as betrayal blindness, which is really the motivating factor in paradoxical reactions. I am going to continue this relationship in a way that kind of causes a loss of reality in my mind and in my heart. So yes, I was sexually violated by my dad, but I don't believe that ever happened to me. And you may not even believe it at all, to the point of not even being able to remember that you were sexually violated. The pain is so intense, and you want to maintain the relationship, or you must maintain the relationship for your survival for some reason, right? Financial, you know, you're not ready to say goodbye to your dad, whatever the case may be. It's betrayal blindness. You may also have lost memories completely, right? Childhood memories are gone. Check out my video right up here at the end of this video. It's an old video, but I did talk about trauma memories, and I break it down for you a little bit in that video. Betrayal trauma may also take over your mind and your heart so much that, you know, you almost feel like you have a duty to the betrayer, and you may not recognize that you are kind of giving the betrayer your heart and your mind. You know, it's almost like, you know, some individuals can create this fantasy of a relationship with the betrayer. And so sometimes people have a hard time on the outside believing that you were ever betrayed in the first place. Such psychic pain that you don't even detect when you're still being betrayed. Because a betrayal once could be a betrayer 2 times, a betrayer 3 times, right? But you've experienced such psychic pain that it's almost as if you give this person your undivided trust, and you believe that they would never hurt you. And so it's like they never hurt you in the first place. You may also have trouble recognizing the relationship between your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. There's kind of like this experience of dissociation, detachment from reality. So it's hard to connect thoughts, feelings, and behaviors when you're so dissociated. And that is very, very painful. The betrayer may also deny that they've ever done anything to you at all, right? I haven't done anything to her. I haven't done anything to him. She's lying. He's lying. When did that happen? Oh, I know you're delusional now. Oh, you're just paranoid, right? And you may have heard all of these things, right? And so if it's hard for you to acknowledge or see the betrayal because of betrayal blindness, then it gives the abuser the go-ahead to deny that it ever happened in the first place. I recently did an interview, and I'm going to put her information in the description box regarding betrayal trauma. So stay tuned for the link in the video on that. But in the meantime, I'm going to post her information for you. Thank you so much for being with me in today's video. I'll see you Friday and Saturday in my live chats. Bye-bye.